The
What are we
day I
gonna do
saw my
about this?
ex-wife standing in front of a mirror, wearing a wedding
We will
dress
find a
that
way to
wasn't
make
meant
it
for me,
work.
I felt something inside me collapse. After years of pretending I had moved on, one glance at her happy face brought back every memory I had tried to bury. The woman I once promised forever to was about to start a new life, and I was standing there wondering if I had already lost the most important person I would ever know. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of human hearts to heal, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel Echoes of Hope for more emotional stories like this. My name is Kellan, and 5 years earlier, I never imagined my marriage would end. I thought love was strong enough to survive anything. I believed that two people who had built a life together could always find their way back to each other. But life has a strange way of testing the things we are most certain about. I met Seraphina during a rainy evening when the city streets were almost empty. She was sitting alone at a small cafe, reading an old book while everyone else rushed through the storm. There was something peaceful about her, something that made the noisy world feel quiet. We started talking, and within minutes it felt like we had known each other for years. Over time, our love grew through simple moments. We didn't have a perfect relationship. We argued about small things, worried about money, and faced the same struggles that every couple faces. But we always found our way back. We built a home filled with laughter, late-night conversations, and memories that felt impossible to replace. The hardest moment came when life became heavier than either of us expected. I became obsessed with my work because I wanted to give us a better future. I spent longer hours away from home, convincing myself that my sacrifices were proof of love. I didn't notice the silence growing between us. I didn't see how lonely Seraphina had become. When I finally realized it, the damage was already done. Our conversations became shorter. Our smiles became rare. The warmth that once filled our home slowly disappeared, replaced by distance. We were two people living under the same roof but feeling like strangers. The night she told me she wanted a divorce, I felt like the ground had disappeared beneath my feet. I wanted to fight for us, but deep down I knew she had been fighting alone for a long time. She wasn't leaving because she stopped caring. She was leaving because she was tired of feeling invisible. After the divorce, I thought the pain would fade quickly. Everyone told me time would heal everything. But nobody told me that healing also meant learning how to live with the memories of someone who was still alive but no longer yours. I kept finding pieces of our old life everywhere. Her favorite mug was still in the kitchen cabinet. The corner of the couch where she used to sit still felt like it belonged to her. Even the quiet moments before sleeping reminded me of the person I had lost because I failed to understand what I had. Months passed, and I tried to rebuild myself. I focused on becoming better, not because I expected her back, but because I finally understood the mistakes I had made. I learned that love isn't only about providing or protecting. Sometimes love is simply being present. Then one afternoon, I received an unexpected invitation. Seraphina was getting married again. I stared at the message for a long time. I told myself I was happy for her. I told myself I had accepted everything. But when I imagined her walking towards someone else, sharing new memories with another man, something painful returned. Still, I went to the wedding preparations because she had once been my family, and some connections remain meaningful even after they change. When I arrived, I saw her surrounded by flowers, music, and people celebrating her future. She looked peaceful. Not the exhausted woman I remembered from the end of our marriage, but someone who had found herself again. For a moment, I felt relief. Maybe this was what she deserved. Maybe happiness was finally returning to her life. But then something unexpected happened. As she finished getting ready, she saw me standing near the doorway. Her expression changed. There was surprise, but also a softness I hadn't seen in years. She walked toward me quietly, and the room around us seemed to disappear. She looked at me with tears forming in her eyes and asked if I wanted to relive our memories. That question broke something inside me. Not because I wanted to change the past, but because I realized she remembered too. She wasn't asking me to restart our marriage. She wasn't trying to undo everything. She simply wanted to honor the years we shared, the version of ourselves that once believed we could conquer the world together. We spent the afternoon walking through the places that had shaped our story. We visited the old cafe where we first met. The same rain fell outside, almost like the universe was reminding us of the beginning. We walked through the neighborhood where we used to dream about our future. Every corner carried a memory. Every street held a piece of who we had been. For the first time in years, we talked honestly. Not with anger. Not with blame. Just two people who had finally grown enough to understand each other. I admitted the things I regretted. I told her I wished I had listened more and worked less. I told her I had spent years chasing a future while ignoring the present. She admitted she had hidden her pain because she thought asking for attention would make her seem weak. She thought I should understand without her saying anything. We both realized something painful but beautiful. We had loved each other. We had just lost our way. As the sun began to set, I noticed something different in myself. For years, I had carried the weight of losing her. But standing there, I understood that sometimes people don't come into our lives to stay forever. Sometimes they come to teach us how to become better. I thought the hardest part would be watching her choose someone else. But the hardest part had actually been forgiving myself for the person I was back then. Seraphina's wedding day arrived, and I watched her walk toward a new beginning. There was sadness in my heart, but it was no longer the painful kind. It was the sadness you feel when you close a beautiful chapter of your life. I smiled because she was happy. And maybe, in a strange way, that was the greatest proof that our love had mattered. Years later, I often thought about that day. Not as the day I lost my ex-wife, but as the day I finally understood love. I started treating people differently. I listened more. I valued small moments. I stopped waiting for life to become perfect before appreciating it. I eventually found happiness again, not by replacing the past, but by learning from it. Because some memories are not chains that hold us back. Some memories are bridges that help us become who we were meant to be. Seraphina and I never became husband and wife again. We never went back to the way things were. But we found something rare. We found peace. And sometimes, peace is the most beautiful ending two people can have. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who believes in forgiveness, and subscribe to Echoes of Hope so more stories like this can reach people who need them. Before the story ends, please leave a comment and tell us, do you believe some relationships are meant to teach us lessons, even if they don't last forever? The truth is, life doesn't always give us second chances to repeat the past. Sometimes it gives us second chances to finally understand it. And that is what happened to me. I didn't get my old life back. I got something even more valuable. I learned how to love, how to forgive, and how to let go with a grateful heart.